Welcome to the News9 Mediaverse, and you are watching On Point with me. The hot button topic is whether Manish Sisodia is going to get bail or not. Now, going by the observation of the Supreme Court judge, the question they are asking is, will the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, get a bail in liquor policy case? But before we make up our mind, let's see what the judge had to say, and let me read out what the observation or the obiter dicta, as it is said, of the judge. And those are very, very important. Till the proceeds of the crime come, PMLA doesn't come. That's one. Where is the evidence except for Arora's statement? That's two. Did you see Nair and Sisodia discuss bribes? That's three. How will Sisodia come under Money Laundering Act? That's four. So these are the four points, and on this debate I'll be joined by Desh, Ratan, Nigam, advocate and political analyst, Aqueel Khan, political analyst, and my input editor Brijesh, Pandey. So before I play out the bite, let me ask Brijesh. Brijesh, what do we make of the obiter dictas of the judge?
Well, I think, Justice Khanna made very scathing observations based on the evidence which was produced on him. If I may read the kind of, strong observations he said, because there was talk about how bureaucrats made a different presentation under the political pressure and all. There was a particular line which was devoted to it. And then, he went on to say that, that there are apparent factual inaccuracy in the documents which have been produced. He went on to say that, whatever they are doing, there is no concrete evidence against Manish Sisodia. He even went on to say that Dinesh Arora, who is the businessman and who was turned approver of the enforcement directorate in the Delhi excise scam, he said that all you have is his statement against Manish Sisodia, and you very well know that this statement will fall flat in 2 minutes of cross-examination. So those were very hard-hitting statements, which have been oral statements, of course, which have been made. I think the case is on the next Thursday. But, the observations of Justice Khanna has really made this...
Today, observation was the story. Obviously, we are not talking about judgment. Mr. Nigam also joins us. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Nigam. What do you make of these scathing remarks of Justice Khanna? Do you think that they'll have impact on the final outcome of this bail hearing, sir?
No. Kartikeya ji, there will be no, effect on the final outcome, because that will go through trial. And the trial court will see. And if any new evidence comes up in the meantime, then the supplementary charge sheet can also be filed. And supplementary evidence can also be filed in the court of law. Those processes are open to the prosecuting agency. But certain observations which have been made clearly shows that the certain people in certain agency are not doing their job seriously, because if you remember in the case of Manish Sisodia, the issue came up why Aam Aadmi Party was not made a party. If you're saying that the Aam Aadmi Party got the money, the illegal money under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, that has not been explained, which clearly means as a layman also, if somebody has got illegal money, that person, a juristic and legal person, which the Aam Aadmi Party being a registered party has not been made a party. Clearly a flaw on the part of the investigative agency. Secondly, also, another observation, because Supreme Court's observation have to be taken in totality, because they have said, where is the, you have included attempt, section 2 attempt, because punishment for attempt and actual crime is one and the same thing. So that you have not included attempt also. So these are observations, obiter dicta, obviously they are not part of the order as it was going on. And thirdly, they have been trying individually, whereas there is a conspiracy, a group of leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party have worked together. Where is that charge? So individually you are trying, but the conspiracy angle has also to be coming up. Members of the cabinet or the MPs or the leaders of the house are coming up in this. They have not been working in isolation, but a conspiracy. I'm not saying whether they are guilty or not, but these are the charges that should have been brought out individually as well as collectively. they have to be liable. And that aspect has also been ignored, which clearly means somebody somewhere is not doing the job seriously. Hawala transactions, as the Supreme Court also said, are
Mr.
difficult
Nigam,
to prove.
coming to this issue, I would really like, for journalists, if you say what are obita dicta, it's like reading the tea leaves, it's like getting the wind off it, that's where the fun of covering the courts is all about, because ultimately the order is shared by, is shared by everyone, because it's something which is documented. But, there are two things, if you can just really take us through. One, when he's talking about the PMLA case, that's our last graphic. Can you please explain it to our viewers? What does Justice Khanna mean in context of the proceeds of the crime?
See, proceeds of the crime, there has to be a separate crime, which we call cognate, crime, which out of which if you have made money, which is a black money, then what an accused does is to try to convert that money into white money. And that property needs to be recovered and the money needs to be recovered. So that is the proceeds of the crime. And crime is separate. Under PMLA, there has to be a cognate crime. Although in some judgments, also in some high courts, they have said PMLA is an independent act, and therefore you don't need a separate crime for that. It's a crime in itself, PMLA. However, there are different judgments out here, but Supreme Court is quite clear on this. So therefore, that proceeds of crime, which is the black money, illegally gotten wealth, which you are trying to make converted into a white money. And that needs to be recovered. But however, if you recall, PMLA is an act where you are guilty till proven innocent. If the charges of attempts are brought in, and if it is proven that attempt has been made, whether the money, because in Hawala transactions, no records are found. The cash transactions takes place from outside into India and India to outside. So somebody from the Hawala transaction, if come forward as a witness, good enough. But otherwise, if an attempt is also established, then it becomes very clear, it will be very difficult for the leaders who have been brought into this net PMLA, will be very difficult for them, because attempt is also a crime under PMLA, apart from, actual thing. So these are very important aspects which need to be gone into, and the court's observation in Supreme Court has to be taken in totality. Not you can't take one sentence out and then, cover it. Therefore, it is very important when they talk of attempt, when they talk of Aam Aadmi Party, when they concede that Hawala transactions are difficult to prove because there is no money trail as such. However, the agencies are saying they have got certain, in the case of Sanjay Singh, that they have certain digital evidences also which they have recovered from Sanjay Singh's residence. Therefore, you have to treat them as a group also, that a group was conspiring to cause that revenue loss and take money, 100 crore money or whatever the amount has been there, which they are talking about. That aspect also has to be seen. If you do it in isolation, then only attempts will hold. If you bring in conspiracy, then probably most of the people will fall in the net. Okay.
Now, before I play out the bite of Arvind Kejriwal, let me read out a figure to you. Quote unquote judge, you have taken two figures, 100 crore and 30 crore. Who paid them this? There can be so many people paying money not necessarily connected to liquor. Where is the proof? Dinesh Arora himself is the recipient. Where is the evidence? Except for the statement of Dinesh Arora, is there any other evidence? Justice Khanna asked. The chain has not been fully established, the bench observed. The court said the money has to flow from liquor lobby to the person, conceded that establishing the chain is difficult as everyone was done undercover. But that's where your competence comes in. As Mr. Nigam was talking about the competence part, that's where your competence comes in, Justice Khanna said, referring to the Enforcement Directorate and Central Bureau of Investigation, referring specifically to the flow of money and charges against the AAP leader filed by ED under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Justice Khanna asked, Manish Sisodia is not involved in all this. Vijay Nair, which is another accused, is there, but Manish Sisodia is not in this part. How will you bring him under the Money Laundering Act? These are the questions which I'll take to Mr. Nigam and my colleague Brijesh Pandey. But let me play out, because there's politics also playing out with this entire case, which is legal. Let's play out the bite of Arvind Kejriwal.
सारे केस झूठे लगा रहे हैं ये लोग, तो कुछ इतने केस लगा लिए, इतनी जांच कर ली, कुछ निकलता तो है नहीं। तो इस जांच के खेल में टाइम ही खराब होता है, सबका टाइम खराब होता है, जांच एजेंसियों का भी टाइम खराब होता है, सरकार का भी। सबको काम करना चाहिए, देश के लिए काम करना चाहिए, तभी तो देश तरक्की करेगा। सबको झूठे केसों में फंसा के उससे तो देश तरक्की नहीं करेगा। जिस तरह के सवाल सुप्रीम कोर्ट आज पूछ रहा था, क्योंकि मामला सब जुडिस है, मेरे को कोई टिप्पणी उस पर नहीं करनी चाहिए, लेकिन जिस तरह के सवाल कर रहा था उससे तो मतलब एक तरह से एक फीलिंग आ रही थी कि गलत ही केस बना रखा है इन लोगों ने हमारे ऊपर।
संजय जी कुछ कहेंगे अपने रश्मि? संजय जी कुछ कहेंगे? संजय जी कुछ कहेंगे? है मोदी जी का हारेंगे, मोदी जी चुनाव हार रहे हैं, इसलिए संजय जी आप
Brijesh, apart from the political banter, Modi haring and all that, I think the cases have politically also sent a signal to the entire opposition. Today, if you look at Tamil Nadu, the raids that the raids that have taken place, and the fact that we say that bail is a norm, it's not an exception, and then the Sanjay getting picked up. Do you see that as the elections close in, things are heating up?
Well, of course, yes. And I think there is some merit in what the opposition party says, because, if you take into the last year's, the statement which was placed on the house of the, in parliament, it was a clear indication, and there was also reports, investigations done by Indian Express, which clearly pointed out that when it came to, ED raiding on opposition parties, and when it comes to ED raiding on people who are, either part of the NDA coalition or others, there was a massive difference. And it clearly do point out to the fact that that how come a majority of the raids are only specific to the opposition leaders or the states which are governed by their rivals, rather than in states which are ruled by BJP or their allies.
Okay, I'll quote another para from Justice Khanna's Obita Dicta. The money is not going to him. In case it is a company with whom he is involved, then we have vicarious liability. Otherwise, the prosecution falters. Money laundering is entirely a different offence, the judge said, pointing out, according to the agency, the case is not one of attempt but actual involvement. Justice Khanna remarked, what is the activity connected with the proceeds of crime? This is not generation. PAMLA deals with process of activity connected with the proceeds of crime. So till the proceeds of crime come, the PMLA case doesn't come. You referred in a passing way, job not well done, but I think it's a case which is lingering so much. How can you have this sort of an affidavit in the Supreme Court, or this sort of a conversation with a bench in the court, sir?
Is it to me?
Yes, Mr. Nigam, and then I'll go to Mr. Aqueel Khan.
So the fact remains that what Supreme Court has said has to be looked into seriously by the Enforcement Directorate. And the fact is, the proceeds of crime may not be able to be recovered as it happens in Hawala transaction. Because the reason being, Hawala transactions do not leave a trail. Those are indirect evidences. And that has to be taken into consideration. In this particular case, in the case of Sanjay Singh, because all these cases are related, there is a witness which says that I have given this money to such and such person. So this is how you see the attendant circumstances, corroborative evidences. If you don't have the actual trail, then the question comes whether PMLA would apply or not. Then another question that you have raised, very important, is bail is a norm. Bail is a norm under the Indian Penal Code. But this, under the PMLA, it is not a norm, which has been very clearly given in this particular act itself, where a person is guilty till proven innocent. In the IPC, a person is innocent till proven guilty. Okay. So the onus lies here on the accused to prove himself that he is not guilty. So onus is very difficult out here for the person. And certainly, while giving bail, it will be seen whether this person will again commit an offense or not. These are various conditions which are there under the PMLA. So this act is absolutely different. Here, bail is an exception, not a norm.
The bail is an exception, not a norm here. Aqueel Khan also joins us. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Khan. Your opening comments on scathing remark by the Supreme Court in Sisodia bail hearing.
This was expected, because we have been telling since many months that Sisodia has been implicated without any proof. And in Satyen Jain case also, the judge asked ED, where is the proof? and afterwards the judge was removed. So this is a kind of, you see, democracy Mr. Modi is enforcing on the country. This ED they are using, it's not ED, it's an enforcing dictatorship of Modi. This is a very, very, I would say, black letter day in the democracy of the country. That Supreme Court has so many times has indicated that you must bring some concrete truth, concrete evidence, but there is nothing. No, nothing is there because there is no question. Arvind Kejriwal ji has been telling he will come out clean. We all telling he will come out clean. All our MLAs, all our ministers, they are just being implicated for nothing. Just because they are कट्टर ईमानदार, तो the कट्टर भ्रष्टाचारी पार्टी जो है राष्ट्रीय जनता पार्टी, they are trying to do every kind of things which will make them show that they are very much against the भ्रष्टाचार, but they are in fact very much against the honesty, very much against imandari. So this is being shown, and people of this country is seeing it very well that how and this current government is doing his business.
Okay.
This is really against the black letter day. I would say again, it's a black letter day. They have arrested Sanjay Singh for nothing. He will also come out clean. Satyan Jain will also come out clean. Just they are trying to cover up their bad performance during the last 10 years.
Okay.
They have done nothing for the country. They have this Bijli Pani Shiksha Swat, which is our model. They are just following blindly that okay, we are also doing, but they are not doing anything in concrete. So I would say right now that Supreme Court has given a very big slap on Modi government's face.
Mr. Aqueel Khan, there's also a fact, where the BJP says that, if everything was clean and so clean and, honky-dory, why is that almost every other court has rejected the bail application?
Correct.
Just repeat your
I said that, the BJP also says that, if everything was so in black and white and squeaky clean on the part of the leaders who have been arrested, their bail applications have been rejected right till at the apex court. So why the bails have been rejected? And I would request you to please be courteous, Mr. Aqueel, may I make a humble request that kindly use.
Also, it has been proved in the past. So whatever is real judgment coming from the Supreme Court, it is nowhere. BJP has no answer to this.
I think all judgments are real from the Supreme Court.
I think just he will not be able to come and then tell anything about this kind of judgment which is being passed on BJP party.
I think all judgments are real from the Supreme Court. But Mr. Nigam, there is another aspect. I would like to keep on my focus on the orbital dicta part. So when he is talking about the Money Laundering Act, when he is talking about PMLA, one thing becomes very clear. You can make laws very hard. You can have laws to detain people legally. We have seen it in TADA, we have seen in UAPA, but judicial scrutiny is something which cannot be bypassed by making a law stringent. You can have laws stringent, or you can make it stringent, you can detain people, but it doesn't mean that you can overcome judicial scrutiny. I think that's the big picture if you ask me as a citizen of this country. For me, the conversation in the court was about scrutiny. The judges were asking questions, nothing else.
Yes,
Isn't
absolutely,
it, Mr. Nigam?
Yes. Ultimate, arbiter of justice is the courts. And they have to scrutinize everything. It is their duty, bounden duty under the Constitution, to scrutinize as to see whether the prosecution is malicious or not, what is the evidence against a person, and how it is to be done. Laws have to be made stringent. And this particular law came on the recommendation of the resolution of United Nations, where the drug money was being money laundered. However, the scope, nature, and extent was extended by Indian Parliament, and this was during Congress's time. And they made a very stringent law, and that law has stood the test of time even till recently, although it has been referred to a larger bench now. The Justice Khanwilkar's bench upheld it, the 3 judges bench. So the law is holding the ground. However, the agencies have to do their work properly. And this particular law came on the recommendation of the resolution of United Nations, where the drug money was being money laundered. However, the scope, nature, and extent was extended by Indian Parliament, and this was during Congress's time. And they made a very stringent law, and that law has stood the test of time even till recently, although it has been referred to a larger bench now. The Justice Khanwilkar's bench upheld it, the 3 judges bench. So the law is holding the ground. However, the agencies have to do their work properly. As I said, it is very important, and judiciary being independent will do its job and scrutinize each and every aspect. At this stage, any observation by the Supreme Court is only to the extent of granting bail, not affecting the final outcome of the that
Okay,
will
let
come
me
in the
let
order
me
and
let me ask
judgment.
this question. Why
But
is it
there's an
taking so
interesting-
much?
there's
Why is it? Okay, you can ask the question, but do add my question. Why is it taking so much time for the bail?
I'm just saying that what is happening here also is that I completely agree with Mr. Nigam. He's absolutely right that this is and also mind you, this is only about the ED case and not the CBI case which is also there. But the fact of the matter is, which I would want to ask Mr. Nigam, is that don't you think that since so much politics has been done on it, if the Supreme Court, if they factor in all the kind of oral observations they made, Mr. Nigam, and if they do write it in the order granting him bail based on these conditions, don't you see it as a political victory for Aam Aadmi Party? Because then they can claim that whatever the outcome of the case, the court has asked these questions and ED has not been able to provide an answer.
See, perception-wise, politically is a different thing so far as the law is concerned. Perception-wise, he's granted bail, but not yet, innocent. That he has to prove himself, that he is not guilty. And the onus lies on Sanjay Singh and Manish Sisodia under the PMLA. It is not the IPC. So therefore, the CBI case is different and PMLA is different. Although the cognate offense is under the for which the CBI is also prosecuting. Without a cognate offense, there cannot be a PMLA case. So the two are related. And perception-wise will be a different political battle, and the political parties have to deal with it. These oral observations.
I think you are doing my job, Mr. Nigam. You are picking up all the right SEO words, correct words for Twitter. I think you are doing my job. Because ultimately, yeah, that's the word perception. Today, Mr. Khan, I think in the battle of perception in media narrative, which goes around obita dicta, I think the narrative is in favor of Mr. Sisodia.
Sir, and this is, you see, they must learn a lesson from this kind of observation by Supreme Court. And most importantly, I would say Modi government is not concerned with the democratic values and the court of laws. He is not concerned. So he shows that I am the king, I am the dictator, I can do everything, but he is destroying the democracy of our country, nothing else. So I have been telling for so many months also, our Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has been telling that all they will come out clean. More than 1,000 complaint has been registered by ED against this liquor case, and nothing has been, not even a single evidence is against any of our personnel. So this is a very, very big slap on the face of Modi.
Whether it's a slap on Modi's face or whether Bharatiya Janata Party is embarrassed, the matter is the case is sub judice. The court will decide. But Brijesh, do you think that this will become an issue in coming assembly elections, Lok Sabha election? Are arrests an issue? Or let me ask you, because a lot of people felt that demonetization is a big problem, and suddenly it got turned around. People saw it differently. Apna paisa nahi gaya, dusre ka gaya. Do you think that these cases? These issues are like double-edged swords.
Kartikeya, the reason I asked that question to Mr. Desraj Nigam was that I completely get that this is a bail equation. I completely get that the case is fought under MLA and where jail is norm and bail is not the norm, and it's a very stringent law, so to speak. But if he gets a bail in which it is written that or some sort of observation made, or if you correlate with these oral observations along with the fact that Manish Sisodia gets bail, Aam Aadmi Party will milk it to their advantage like never before, because they will say that this particular bail and the kind of oral observations which have been made by the court clearly points to the fact that Manish Sisodia was being victimized, irrespective of the outcome of the original case.
Are you saying that this is the message which is going out?
This is the message which will go out.
That's the political message, independent of the legal story. Mr. Nigam wanted to come in. Yeah, Mr. Nigam. Please.
Yes. Let me add, since I'm a political analyst as well, and most of the time I do sit as political analyst. Now there could be only three possibilities if he gets bail. Either it helps Aam Aadmi Party, or nothing happens, or it goes negative against them. But to the best of my ability, I think it will probably create a narrative in favor of Aam Aadmi Party to some extent, which will probably result into triangular contest in certain regions. which goes actually in favor of BJP. Because in certain regions, the Aam Aadmi Party has made it very clear. They have declared candidates in Madhya Pradesh, I believe, and in Punjab, they have said they will go independently. If the triangular contest takes place in certain regions where Aam Aadmi Party becomes important, with the help of, with the, tailwind from this particular bail, if a person gets a bail, then there will be triangular contest and the opposition vote will be splintered to some extent, and that is where the BJP would have advantage. Certain vote share of Aam Aadmi Party would also increase. So the Indic alliance, which we call, probably, their vote may be splintering.
Okay. 30 seconds. Mr. Khan, you wanted to come?
Nigam Saab's statement that it will benefit BJP. You see, if you see in Punjab, Delhi, even if we are fighting, if we have differences within our India, so whomsoever is winning, BJP is not winning. And anywhere, if
Mr. Khan, we can always agree to disagree. We can always have our views on it. But one thing, and on this note, I would like to close in this discussion, is that the silence of the Congress, its top leadership on this issue was pretty conspicuous. It was there. And it just, I would not use the word crack in India, but it shows on that the Congress does feel the hit or the pang of losing out in places like Delhi, Punjab, and why not. But then, today, the narrative which was built, the Orbiter dictators which came out, I think the largest sympathy is gone in favor of Mr. Sisodia. That does not mean that he has done no wrong, because that's the ultimate domain of the judges and the judiciary to decide whether he's a victim or whether he's a culprit. But as of now, the Orbiter, if you read the Orbiter dicta like tea leaves, I think today's day goes in the favor of Manish Sisodia. But it's time for a small break. Don't go away. I'll be back with more on a special edition on Point on Manipur.
इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं, जो कि सभी लोग कर रहे हैं.
Coaching is now starting from grade 3, 4, 5, 6.
कोटा जाने वाली बीच राह में आधे टेस्ट देके हैं सिलेक्शन की चाह में.
ऑल इंडिया का बच्चा कोटा जाता है.
This rat race is for rats, not for humans. So why should we even be a part of it?
The Rat Race. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now. BrahMos. Stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through butter. China's navy has threatened its neighbors, and they are turning to the BrahMos for protection. The Warship Killer. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Literally every major power in the world is gearing up with its own digital currency.